to realize I had a lot of them. A lot of them. And I'm going to share with you just two so you have an idea. One was I actually had the belief that money was dirty. It was kind of subconscious as I was searching for these limiting beliefs. My mother, when she was 3 years old, she developed trench mouth from putting money in her mouth, and she never forgot to tell us. If we touched money, we had to run and wash our hands. And I realized if I had this belief that money was dirty, my subconscious mind is not going to want to attract and pull in a lot of filthy, dirty things. So I had to weed that out. I had to see money being printed up at the treasury as clean and crisp and shiny. Bernanke with his sterile gloves, inspecting it all. And then another belief I want to share is I believe that you couldn't be materialistic and spiritual. You had to choose one or the other. And I wanted to be spiritual. So if I wanted to be spiritual and I had this belief, I would have to stay poor. Have to. So what came to me was the image of Oprah Winfrey. One of the most conscious, spiritual, wise, humanitarian, loving, aware woman on the planet, and also one of the wealthiest women on the planet. So I also had to weed out limiting beliefs. Like, only way money could come to me was to work hard, the sweat of my brow. Well, we're infinitely creative. Our divine connection is infinitely creative in the ways it can bring abundance and money to us. So, anyone here a gardener? Okay, Susan, let me ask you a question. So, if in early springtime you weed out all the weeds in your garden, is that the only time you need to weed?
No.
No. Anyone who has ever had a garden knows that those weeds continue to come up all the time. So weeding is not a one-time thing that I did in 1994. Weeding is something I do every day, all through my life. I still weed. I had a thought that came up just the other day, a weed. I was talking to my mother, and she said she wanted to come out and see the baby. My daughter's back there with her 6, 7, 8-year-old infant. Dave. Excuse me, a little nervous up here. Likes up things. She wanted to come see the baby. But I'm also planning a trip out back east. So I thought in my mind, well, which one should I choose? And then instantly I thought, well, that's a limiting thought. Which one? I can do both. So I'm constantly weeding out the thoughts. It never ends. It's a lifelong project. So just make it fun. So once you're adequately weeded, it's time to seed in a garden, right? So we have to seed the thoughts and the belief systems and the intentions of what we want to create. So you can seed in thoughts like money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I have everything I want in the exact moment I want it. Abundance flows and overflows into my life. And we can seed intentions by doing vision boarding. Jan Magner has a magnificent vision boarding feng shui class. Or I used to do, back then I used to write, I should start doing it again. I'd write intentions down on a piece of paper. I want the kids to go to camps. I want some new clothes. I want some new music. And I'd write it all down on a piece of paper. I'd file it somewhere. And about a year, maybe 2, maybe 6 months, I'd find that piece of paper, and it was unbelievable. Everything had always manifested. When I found that piece of paper, I had seeded in intentions into my consciousness. See, we have this infinite consciousness, and its job is just to be there. Without us bringing forth what we want, nothing can manifest. But we can actually instruct that infinite consciousness through our beliefs. what we want. So then, after I seeded in all the good things, Susan, you're the gardener of the group. I know there's a lot of other gardeners, but they were too shy to raise their hands. So, Susan, let's imagine you've weeded and you've seeded in these beautiful seeds, but you failed to give this garden any water, any fertilizer, and no sunlight, deprived it of complete sunlight. How would those seeds do? Not well at all. It would not be a very abundant harvest. So after we seed our consciousness, we have to water and fertilize and enlighten those beliefs and intentions. We can't just stop there. There's more to do. And we do this by what you focus on is what expands. That principle is what I used. I used that principle over and over and over again. I used it with what I said. I used it with what I did. I used it with how I thought. And I used it with how I felt. So, with what I said, my kids are really little, and I made a vow to never say anything I didn't want to create. So I never ever said the word I'm broke or I don't have any money. I didn't want to create that. First of all, the word I'm broke, let's all make a vow to never say that. We don't have any money, but also I'm broke. And we don't want to create being broken in any way, shape, or form. So I never used those words. And I remember my two little kids, Asia and John, they asked me one day, they said, Mommy, can we go out to eat? Now, the truth is, at that moment, I did not have the money to take them out to eat, not even at McDonald's. And I said, absolutely, yes, we can go out to eat, absolutely, next Friday. And you guys start thinking whether you want to go to McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, or Wendy's. Lots of choices, too. So then thinking, our thoughts are so important. Our thoughts, what we think about, what you focus on, what expands. So what are the thoughts? Now, we all have let's say you have 1,000, 100,000 thoughts that go through your mind in 1 hour. It's like going to the grocery store. We're pushing our cart down the grocery store and there's 100,000 products. But we're only going to put into the cart that with which we want to purchase. It's just like thinking. Thoughts will flow through. They're not who we are. They're flowing through all the time. They're always changing. So what you focus on are the thoughts that you want to create. So for example, when I started as a massage therapist, I didn't have any clients. But my friend Diane would give out free gift certificates. And those people would come and get massages and they'd give me a tip, maybe $5, $10, something like that. And I remember one day driving home, I had maybe made all of $20 that day. I was driving home and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm a paid massage therapist. I make money for what I do. So even if you have an apple and a jar of mayonnaise in your refrigerator, what you focus on is what expands. Don't think I have no food. Certainly don't say that. Think I've got food in my refrigerator. And then it expands. And then action, doing. You see, we are co-creators with God. There's a saying at the retreat we did this weekend, and it said, what you do today, what was it? What you do today determines your future. So really, we are co-creators with God. You know, God was orchestrating my trip to come to Salt Lake City. I had no idea I was getting here. No idea. But if I hadn't gotten in the car and drove 24 hours, to Wisconsin and drove back, flew out, and I had to act. I had to create actions. When I started my massage business, when I didn't have clients, I would go out and I put flyers all over town, everywhere I went. So we have to be in action. We have to help. And I'm talking about divine action. I'm not talking about forcing and striving and pushing. When you're divinely guided or divinely inspired to act, you act. You knock on the door. When the doors swing open, you walk through. You have to walk through to make things happen. You have to take those physical steps because we are physical beings in a physical universe, creating physical money or physical relationships or whatever it is we want. Action is so important. And have your actions align with what you want to create. And then the last thing is emotions. Emotions. What kind of emotions do you put your focus on? What you focus on is what expands. So let me ask the question. Why do you want money and wealth? Anyone want to volunteer?
Sense of freedom.
Freedom. Sense of freedom. Larry?
Because it's who I am.
Because it's who you are. And who are you?
I am unlimited.
You are unlimited.
So I can take my kids to dinner before next Friday.
Why do you want to take them to dinner before next Friday?
Because then they'll be happy because you don't have to wait. But
Happiness!
Happiness! To look forward to if we wait. Oh, Friday.
So happiness. And Cindy?
Because I could give also service to others. I feel like if I'm abundant, then I can share with others.
And why do you want to share with others?
Because I love people.
Love. Love. Yes. We want to be free. We want to be unlimited. We want to be happy. We want to be loved and love. That's why we want anything at all, ever. We want to feel excited and passionate about life. We want to be alive. We want to be happy, and we want to be free. We want to live a life that's full of possibilities and opportunities and adventure. We want to flow and overflow with gratitude and love. We want our lives to make a difference. To know that our life created an impact that was positive in this world. And all these things we can have for free. We don't have to do anything. We don't need any money. We don't need to have anything to feel this excitement, this joy, this love. Trust me, I know. I was there. It can be available to us now, right now. All those states of being. And I want to touch on love for a moment, because love is the key, and self-love is the ultimate key. Because you are God. You have access to infinite abundance of everything. And the only thing that would block you from receiving that is feeling unworthy or undeserving, or not feeling the self-love in yourself. See, you are your divine mother, your divine father, and you have this infinite inheritance, infinite abundance. And any parent would want to shower their child with everything, unless that child wasn't open to receive it. And the only thing that will block that is self-love. So self-love is the key. Once you love yourself, you love your divine, you love them as one, you are open to receive all that infinite abundance and inheritance. The channels are open. So once you get yourself, you jump into this emotional, vibrational vortex of what you want. It is absolutely inevitable that you will pull it in, or more accurately, you will pull it from within. All of your heart's desires. You will pull from within all your heart's desires because you deserve the grandest and greatest of your dreams to come true. Yes. And because of who you are, because you are an infinitely creative, all loving, all powerful, divine, magnificent, magical, cosmic being. It is your destiny, your very destiny, to live a life beyond your wildest imaginings, to live a life of utter, for the utter, magnificent joy of the experience. I love you all and thank you.
Yeah.